Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to this motherfucking league. Or whatever the fuck I'm calling this shit. I don't know, but basketball, chatting with your boy. Finals preview and some WNBA news. I've been traveling, dude. I haven't been able to do more of these podcasts. I'm going to talk about the Mavs and the Celtics for a really long time, but we've got a lot to break down in that regard, and then also the WNBA stuff that has been going on has been so freaking funny. It's great for the sport. People don't know how to talk about women's sports. That's evident, and it's okay because never really had to well, you should have been, but like women's sports being at the forefront of news over the last however many years it's been scarce, whether that's intentional, unintentional, due to a lack of headline news or whatever, who knows. But fact of the matter is, now Caitlin Clark's got that league fucking lit, and anyone who is denying it is a hater. But let's start with the NBA Finals. The Mavs and the Celtics. I am extremely excited about this. If you're not a fan of the sport. I knew we were going to get, well, based off the semifinals, I knew that we were going to get like a solid matchup. I'm kind of glad the Wolves are gone, one, because they beat the Suns, and two, because I just really didn't think they had it. They proved that the Suns didn't have it. So as a Suns fan, you can say that. You're right. We suck. We're going to fucking probably suck even more if we get LeBron and Bronny. But I don't want to think about that right now. So I'm glad it's the Mavericks and I'm glad it's the Celtics. But I have the Celtics winning in 5 or 6. 5 on the low end, 6 on the high end. I know Celtics in 5 sounds pretty crazy. The Mavs have been playing phenomenal the last month or so, 2 months. They have the best player in the series in Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving has proven to be a mature, valuable, championship-winning asset. And then they have a great front court, good wings. They just have a bunch of guys who are flying all over the place, playing ball, and just led by Luka. And on the other side, you have the Celtics, the best team the whole year, the best record the whole year. They were resting dudes left and right. Like, they'd sit out Jaylen Brown and KP one game, and then the next game rest Tatum and Holiday, and then the next game rest Derek White, and then the next game rest Brown and Porzingis. You know, it was just insane how dominant they were all season and how in control they were. Now, will that bite them in the ass? Will that prove to just be the facts of how good they are? Will they just walk the Mavs? I think there's a chance of that because they were that good this whole season. Like, why would we expect them to not all of a sudden say that there's no chance that they could beat the Mavs in 5, right? I think there's a lot of things going on. But the biggest, like, if we want to talk about, like, eye-grabbing headlines, storylines, etc., the biggest storyline, in my opinion, is Luka and his legacy and how it is affected by the outcome of this, particularly if he wins. So Luka, since he came into the league, we've known generational talent, generational player, 6'8" point guard, moves different, vision different, skilled beyond belief, alpha male, top 5 in the league. If he's not in your top 5, you could probably guarantee top 3, if he's not the best player on your list. But just one of the best we've seen in a while. Okay, if Luka can beat the Boston Celtics, who have 17 championships, one of the most iconic franchises in the NBA. They're the number 1 seed, best team the whole season. If he can beat them and win his first championship at 25 years old, that would all but cement him as a Hall of Famer, future great, etc. Assuming that he doesn't just like become a heroin addict like after like the summer, you know. It feels inevitable, his growth and his legacy, because of his dominance. But if he can win this, like, this would be iconic. Like, this is like LeBron facing the Spurs when he was on the Cavs in the finals and they got fucking dummied. But like, I think the stakes that were there for LeBron beating like a franchise like the Spurs at that moment in his career, I forget how old he was. 2007. So how old was he? Yeah, the Spurs swept their ass. But so what? It was June of 2007, and he is how old right now? 39. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years ago. 29, 27. So LeBron was 27. Is that right? Did I just... Oh, wait. 13, 14, 15, 17. LeBron was 22. LeBron was 22. I think 29 minus... Yeah. LeBron was 22. Sorry, that was embarrassing. My God, I'm sick, guys. I don't know. No, there's actually really no excuse. So he was 22. Luka's a little older. And how old was LeBron when he won his first? Not that we're gonna just make this a Luka compared to LeBron thing, but he went to the finals 8 times. He was a champion in 2012. So if he's 39 now, 12 years ago, he was 27. So, see, there's something in there. I said he was 27. I meant to say he was 27 when he won his first one. You see? I don't know if you guys are going to buy that, but whatever. But yeah, Luka could win it at 25, beating the Celtics as the 5 seed. I don't think a 5 seed has ever won an NBA Finals. No 5 seed has ever won the NBA Finals, but the Rockets were the lowest seed ever to win as a 4 seed. So yeah. The biggest storyline, though, getting back to the main topic, is Luka and his legacy. If he wins, it changes everything for him. It cements him as one of those guys. Because with these young players, we love to be like, oh my God, he's going to go on and do great things. And then when they don't go on and do great things, it's like, but the NBA is built off potential. I think LeBron said that on his podcast with JJ, like one of the first episodes. He's like, the whole league is built around potential, and so the stars are built around potential, and Luka has realized some of his potential already, but the fact that he's only 25 means there's more to grow. But if he can win this one, that's the biggest storyline. Luka winning and where that places him among the stars. On the flip side, if he doesn't win it, though, in a strange way, I don't think it hurts him that much, because they're the 5 seed. Their team has only been constructed like this since the trade deadline. I think Luka haters and Suns fans are going to have a field day and hold it over him if he loses in 5 or even gets swept. They're not going to get swept, though. But, I don't think it affects them that much because they weren't supposed to be here, right? I do think at some point Luka is going to win a championship, though. Whether it's this year or next year, who knows? But yeah, that's the biggest storyline in my opinion. Other things, off the top of my head, Kyrie going back to Boston. Boston fans fucking hate him because he said he was going to stay. He left. That happens, though. That's like a part of today's NBA just life. People say shit and then do other shit. Player movement is inevitable, right? So I don't know if you can really get too mad at Kyrie about that. However, in the years after, when Celtics fans were giving him shit, Kyrie was like flipping off fans. Like, I remember watching that game live. I was like, what the fuck is Kyrie doing? Like, he hit a 3 or something, turned around and just flipped off the crowd. He stomps on the logo. He says the Earth's flat, says the Holocaust is fake, all this shit, Now, it seems like he's a fucking saint in Dallas. Like, my dad lives over there. Every article, every interview, he seems to have matured a lot. And, like, maybe that just is the 28-year-old versus, like, the 32-year-old. Like, I think a lot can happen in those years. He becomes a father, gets married, etc. when you're, like, a young... And when you're in your late 20s, you're kind of, like, in your prime, so he's kind of, like, fuck everything else and just acted a certain way. And I genuinely believe in his maturity and his mental growth. He's said... he's learned not to sit. He doesn't have to give his opinion on things. It's like, thank you, dude. If you think the Earth's flat, you don't gotta tell people. If you think the Holocaust is fake, that's fucked. But definitely don't say that. But he did. So it's just interesting to see how he will react. Like, is this maturity that we're seeing from Kyrie in these interviews, in these press conferences, through his play even, is it real? Or can Boston and will Boston like show that it's all for show? Who knows? I think that is another big question as far as this series goes, because if Kyrie gets even the slightest bit shook, says something to a fan, gets ejected, reacts in a way that doesn't match up with his character over the last year, and once again, I believe that his character changing is real. But if he gets baited into some shit and reacts, like, that could fuck the Mavs. So that is another storyline that's interesting. The least interesting, as far as the players go, is Porzingis versus the Mavs. Like, they were shit when he was there. He was always hurt. I guess him and Luka weren't the best of friends, but I don't think Luka really gives a shit about Porzingis. I think Porzingis will probably have more to prove than anyone on the Mavs to him, right? Let's see who was on the roster when he was in Dallas. The last time he was in Dallas. Because I don't even think a lot of those guys are even fucking there. You know what I mean? So he was traded in the middle of the 21-22 season. This is the season that the Mavs beat us by 300 at home in Game 7. So fuck them. Jalen Brunson was on that team. Gone. Luka, Josh Green, Tim Hardaway, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell. So those 5: Luka, Josh Green, Hardaway, Kleber, Powell. None of those guys seem like except for maybe Luka. I could see Luka just talking shit to him because Luka just like talks shit to everyone, but like not even in a personal way, just in like a getting Luka, like Luka getting Luka going, you know. But the players that are still there, unless like Josh Green and Kristaps got into it in like a practice or something, the Porzingis storyline has no juice for me. Again, if anything, it's going to help Porzingis out more because he's going to want to get after the team that traded him. I don't think the Mavs really give a shit, and most of their players weren't even there. So, there's that. Lastly, though, Jayson Tatum, he has a chance to... It's kind of all being set up for him. He has a chance to prove everyone wrong and tell everyone to shut the fuck up. Like, you just got people doing hits on First Take and like NBA Today this week talking about how Jayson Tatum, he ain't in my top 5, just like out of nowhere. He hasn't played that great in these playoffs consistently, but he's first team All NBA, averaged 30-something points, and it would just be really perfect for him if, you know, right now, while all of these motherfuckers are, like, talking all this shit about him and talking about how bad he's been, if he comes in these finals and is Jayson Tatum, like, people forget. A couple years ago, I realized, well, I knew Jayson Tatum was the truth when he was a rookie and he dunked on LeBron in the playoffs and then bumped into him intentionally afterwards and like screamed in his face, like, you are a fucking crazy guy to be doing that shit as a rookie. Jayson Tatum was on that. He was on that. He's been one of the best players in his class all through high school. Where'd he go? Number 2 or 3? I think he went number 3. The Suns could have had him. Suns could have had Luka too, but it's just struck a chord with me. God bless myself. But like, a couple years ago too, when KD was in Brooklyn and the Celtics swept them, that was like a passing of the guard to me, because I think going into that series, I was ready to watch it. I was like, KD is about to cook this young man, and Tatum cooked him, signaling that Tatum has arrived, had arrived even more. And here we are. He's 25. I think that championship a couple years ago, they lost to the Warriors, had to have stung. He's had so much success in such little time. Like, he's been to how many conference finals? And how many... This is his second finals. How many ECF has Tatum been to? He's been there 5 times. He's been in the league for 7 years. So, if anyone is primed to do it, it's him, you know. Even more so than Luka, probably. But I think it's just perfect it's a perfect spot for Tatum to just walk in and be like, yo, I never went anywhere. You know, everyone has been sleeping. Everyone has been talking all this shit. I'm going to drop 30 a game, and no one on Dallas can guard me, and it's over. Like, who on Dallas can guard? Like, they're going to put PJ Washington on him. I think the gap there is pretty big. PJ Washington is great, was also a top player, etc. But Tatum is that guy. I don't know. I think it's up to Tatum. It's up to Tatum how fast that he wants the series to be done. If Tatum is first team All NBA Tatum, along with the Celtics, with everyone around him playing to their capability, the Celtics can win this shit in 5. If Tatum is the Tatum that we've seen through these playoffs, which is like he's had some really good games, some where he disappears. I still think the Celtics can get it done. But it's going to be a good one. I think Tatum, if I had to rank the storylines, I'd say Luka and if he wins, how huge that is for his legacy and like where, thumbs up, and where he lands in the all-time. Number 2, Tatum, for the same reasons. Bringing Boston 18 and shutting everyone up. And then like 3 Kyrie, 4 KP, whatever the fuck. The Drew Holiday trade, if they win and Drew Holiday does a really good job on Kyrie, like I don't think anyone can guard Kyrie, but if Drew Holiday does that and that trade from this end of the summer, like ends up being the reason they win and Milwaukee's at home like fucking crying and Drew's just winning another one in Boston, like that would be pretty cool because he was really sad and really shocked that he got traded from Milwaukee. I remember that. Derek White, if he is like I could see Derek White pulling like an Andre Iguodala like finals MVP, just because people have been like trying to give him his flowers all year, or talking about how he deserves his flowers. He should have been an all-star. He should have been in the All-NBA. He should have been here. He should have been there. And then I can totally see the motherfuckers who decide the finals MVP being like, well, we'll just give him his flowers now. And then Tatum getting fucked out of it, or Brown getting fucked out of it. But we'll see how he plays. People are talking about like integrating Porzingis back and how that might affect the Celtics because they've gotten used to playing this other way. I don't think that matters because they, like I said earlier, they did like the whole last month or so of the season, they were sitting people left and right, just giving people rest. Like they'd set JV and KP, then they'd sit Tatum and whatever, and they like allowed their bench to get some really good minutes, allowed their stars to play with all these unique lineups. I don't think that's going to matter one bit. And with that being said, the WNBA is popping the fuck off. Stephen A got demolished by Monica McNutt and then came out and was like, you're lucky I'm even talking about him anyway. Like, I don't know. When I saw the clip, though, I'll just tell you, like, my experience. When I saw the clip of Caitlin Clark getting hip-checked, I was like, not a big deal. That's hoops. If you're losing, that's some shit that you would do. Yes, she's a hater. Yes, it's a little dirty, but also, like, whatever. People were freaking out. And then it was brought to my attention that the post-game was tough, where Angel Reese, who's celebrating on the bench after she, like, knocks her over, refused to go give a press conference, got fined. This girl apparently says, besides three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man, about Caitlin Clark? How, like, off basis do you have to be? Like, who is controlling your mind for you to say some shit like that? The hating is insane. It all makes sense because she's a rookie, because she's a white girl in the WNBA, because she's getting buckets, because she's changing the league, because everyone is like, before she even played a game, everyone was crediting her for saving women's sports and saving women's basketball. And so now you got all these ladies who are like 5-year vets, 7-year vets, 3-year vets, like, who no one gave a fuck about before and still doesn't give a fuck about. You got them looking at this girl doing it and just being like, nah, fuck that. Like, it's insane. So, Chennedy Carter, what the fuck did she say? On Monday, She said, "I'm a truly passionate person about the game, and I'm genuine. You can ask all my teammates. They've gotten to know me. They know the real Kennedy Carter. So I'm just saying, don't form an opinion off of one little clip. Y'all don't know me, but you think you know my story." The Chicago Sky coach, I saw this. She said that her actions were not appropriate, adding that Carter understands that there are better ways to handle situations on the court, and she will learn from this, as we all will. Well, that doesn't sound like she learned from it at all. Apparently, Carter was kicked off 2 other teams. Atlanta didn't want her, and then LA didn't want her because she was trying to fight her teammates. She was kicked off the Atlanta Dream in 21 due to conduct detrimental to the team, and then she was kicked off the Sparks in 23 for poor conduct. So, that's just who this girl is, okay? As far as Angel Reese goes, she needs to stand on business. She says how she loves her, they're best friends, and then she's, getting up and cheering, after watching Caitlin Clark get whatever, and then she's refusing to do press conferences because she doesn't want to answer any questions about him. Talk about envious. And if you're Caitlin Clark, you just got to be flattered, right? Angel Reese yesterday, I think, said, people have to realize that it's not just because of one player. It's because of all of us. I'm not jealous, but I don't like how everyone is making it about one player and not all of us. That is a jealous comment. I don't think these girls understand that, saying something like that makes you look jealous, and it makes you look like you don't like her. I think a lot of people are saying that they just wish Angel Reese would just be straight up about it. There's no problem with not liking someone. There's no problem with rivalries. There's no problem with any of that. We are all eating it up. Men, women, whoever. And it's what makes sports. In Game 3 of the NBA Finals, I promise you Luka and someone are going to get into it. Because by Game 3, everyone's fed up with each other. But, if this was a guy, if this happened in the NBA Finals, it would just be oh, whatever. Or honestly, if Caitlin Clark was a black chick, I think people wouldn't give as much of a fuck. I think the race stuff is very touchy-feely here. Yeah, man. You guys just, the Sky just look like the ultimate haters, and then everything that's coming out afterward all but confirms it. And if they were just yeah, fuck her, that would be way better than what they're doing right now. What else has happened? So that foul was a flagrant foul. They upgraded it to a flagrant 1. Has anyone asked Clark about it? Oh yeah, after the game, she said, "I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions." The Kennedy Carter. The Fever general manager posted on X suggesting there's a difference between tough defense and unnecessary targeting actions. It needs to stop. The league needs to clean up the crap. Yeah. I saw the PMT guys are all over this. They quote tweeted some article from the Chicago Tribune, said that outside of basketball this would be assault. And it's no shit. They fight in hockey and get 5-minute penalties. This is just sports, and people are really just making this topic so hyper focused and political, and making these grandiose statements about it. And it's all these people who had never watched sports before. I get it, but I still don't even have that big of a problem with it. If you are losing, this is the kind of shit you do. I can't tell you. I've been losing before. I'd knock someone on there. I'm pretty sure I've done this, in an AAU tournament, whatever. But now it's a big cultural moment, and yada yada yada. And Angel Reese was fined $1,000. The Sky organization was fined $5,000 for not making sure all these people went to their press conferences. I don't know. Who plays tonight? The Mystics and the Sun, the Liberty and the Sky, and Mercury Storm. I want to see Kennedy Carter try to do that shit to Sabrina Ionesco, dog. Try that. See how it goes. Angel Reese. Try Brianna Stewart. You know what I mean? Try her. I don't know. Mercury Storm might be nice. I need to watch some Mercury basketball. I might have to do that later. But, yeah. That has been the episode. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you if you stuck around this far. I'll see you when I see you.